Okay, so for a daily basis, sometimes I just take a couple seconds and I come into the journal. It doesn't have to be a lot. Some days I have more time and I can spend as much as an hour with the journal. The biggest thing that I want you to know is that you can start with any section that you're being drawn to. You can do it in chronological order, so to speak, starting at the very beginning with the Vesica Piscis, or let's say there's a sacred geometric shape you're being drawn to for that month. Because this is dateless, you can hop around. So you can go in order or you can hop around. Now, as a side note, little secret insider's note, this is actually set up in such a way. I tuned in and I most definitely channeled this pattern so that if you were to start, let's say with the Vesica Piscis, that first symbol in January, this one, you'll find that there's a natural flow of the sacred geometric shapes with the rhythms and the cycles of nature. You can do that, but you don't have to. I am jumping in this month with the Sri Yantra, which actually does kind of line up with August energy and harvesting energy. So this is where I am right now. I haven't filled in all the months yet. I've got a lot blank. And some days I'm better at doing it than others. Some days I skip, and that's okay. I can come back and either fill it in or I can just start the next week wherever I am. So know that this is just meant to help you spot patterns. Use it the way that you're called to. Okay, so daily practice, what I would do is I just go straight to the week. It's the beginning of a week. I look at my week, and I'm going to scooch this over. I was trying to set it up to be fancy, but you know what? I'll do it like this. I think you'll be able to see. I'm a lefty, and I think this lamp was made for righties. Okay, so here I am at the beginning of a week. I might need a little bit of extra time when I set up a week. I'm looking, okay, what's my intention for this week? My intention really is connecting to community. The full moon in Aquarius that's happening tomorrow, Aquarius is about community. It's about being able to say, I can be myself and find my people. I don't have to change who I am to try to fit in. So that's my intention for this week. Everything, oh, I've got a friend coming in. Everything is centered around community. I want to be with my friends. I want to be with my people. I want to play like this. So I just set the intention for the week. Top 3 things I'm working on. This could be personal. It could be business oriented. It could be a combo of both. For me, I really use the journal in a business sense because I'm trying to time the way that I'm creating, the way that I'm engaging with the cycles of nature. And for me, this is, I say business, but it's all wrapped up. This is who I am. I eat, breathe, live, and sleep this stuff. And it's such a joy to be able to share it. So my top 3 intentions is really with Mercury getting ready to go retrograde in Virgo. So this is something I know ahead of time, and this will get into the planning. We'll talk about that in a second. A monthly planning, but just for the week, setting up the week. I say, okay, well, this is going to be a time for me to organize myself, especially papers, systems, just kind of get myself together. The second thing this week that I really want to do is I want to get ahead by creating some things. So like with that system, for me, I'm thinking content, things that I want to post. So I'm just going to say content creation. My handwriting's messy. I'm writing in pencil right now. I do have my fun little felt pens with me. I'll show you those later. But in the beginning, sometimes I like to be able to erase. So I just do this. Content creation. And then for me, time with friends. I'm going to just make that extra time this week. So these are my top 3 things this week. 1, 2, 3. Easy as that. What crystal am I working with this week? The reason that I like this is it acts as a focal point. So going back to the month, which we'll look at the month in a moment, there's a main focus, and you can choose the focus that's outlined here for the month, but you don't have to. Let's say this month you're saying, you know what, I'm thinking love, I'm thinking friends, I'm thinking rose quartz. But for me, I'm going to tune into the citrine, which is part of this month's sacred practices. You can do that. You don't have to. It's a suggestion. So I have my little citrine. It's ready to go. And I will use this crystal this week just as a way to, part of the reason of this is we're getting into that harvesting time. It's recognizing the beautiful blessings of abundance, prosperity that we have in our world. And I just want to take time to recognize all of the physical blessings in my life. So the citrine can really help with that. So my crystal this week is a citrine. That just gives me a focal point, so I'm not jumping around back and forth. Then the ritual. Now, here's the thing. There can be so many different sacred practices we do, but really the goal of this is to say, hey, this week, yes, you could pick a new thing every day, but if you were to pick one thing or two things this week, when you sit down at your desk in the morning or you start your day, like you just get out of bed, you've brushed your teeth, and you say, okay, before I get into the hustle and bustle and craziness of answering emails and working with clients, what's the one thing I can do that's going to help me mitigate the uncertainties, ditch the anxiety, help me breathe easy and stay connected to my intuition? For me this month, I've already kind of scanned the sacred rituals. I'm going to just go back, and the mudra is really appealing to me. So you have a whole list of sacred rituals here, and I have a pattern of mudra, mantra, and meditation. You can do all of them every day. You don't have to. You pick one. But the hand gestures really drawing me in. I am planning on making videos and pictures for all of these mudras. So if you read the description and you're like, what is that? What does she mean? What does that look like? Because I'm visual and I know I can read it and not necessarily get it. So I'm going to do that and share that with you shortly. So I'm just going to that. That's drawing me in. You can also, for the whole month, just see this little theme. And even here, I have a little ritual aspect for the month that you could have in the back of your mind. You don't have to do any of these. These are suggestions. They're jumping off points, but I really like them because it keeps me focused. It's a system. So this week, the hand gesture is really drawing me in. Mudra and Vajra Padma Mudra. The other thing that's really drawing me in is just a candle. This is something that I don't list necessarily for each month. I might have a little tip at the beginning of the book. But anytime you light a candle, it's a way of inviting spirit in. You're just saying, welcome. I'm excited to have you. I'm setting aside some time to connect with my intuition, with my angels, my guides. So I really like having a lit candle. I don't have to write that down, but that's a part of what I do. Now, nourish. What do I mean down here by nourish? I mean, how am I going to feed my spirit this week? We take time to make sure that we get food in our bellies. We take time to sleep, hopefully. We take time to recharge our batteries physically, hopefully emotionally and mentally. But what about our spirit? How am I going to nourish or feed my spirit? What's something that I can do that just brings me joy? And you know what's really drawing me right now as I ask myself, and you can, tune into yourself too, something I haven't been able to do is enjoy a cup of coffee outside or a cup of tea. I have these beautiful spaces I haven't been able to develop or set up yet around my home where I could sit outside and enjoy the cooler nights that are coming, sort of. Still really hot here. But for me, what's really going to feed my spirit is a cup of something hot, tea or coffee outside. And so forgive the shaking and the crazy handwriting, but that's it. So this is kind of set an energetic tone for the week. I know my intention for this week is connecting to community. So if I'm nourishing my spirit by having a cup of tea outside, maybe I see my neighbor and I invite my neighbor over and say, hey, come on, join me, have a cup of tea with me. And that feeds my spirit. I know that at the beginning of the day, if I do this simple hand gesture, the Vajra Pradma Mudra, this can help me just center and focus myself. This is to build unshakable confidence and trust to destroy any self-doubt whatsoever. Because sometimes when we're going after these big dreams, these sneaky thoughts pop up, the inner critic. So this is just something to help me. So this is set up my whole week. Again, you can take a lot of time with this, or you can just do it quickly. So that's the week setup. Then I'm going to go to my individual day. And I'll just go ahead and